How is it that smashing grain between rocks and pressing a button on a blender seem worlds apart, but the logic behind them is the same? You're watching Channel Name, where we unravel the invisible systems shaping your everyday life. Picture this. It's 10,000 years ago. You're in a dusty hut in Mesopotamia. The sun blazes outside. Inside, someone kneels by a flat stone, the saddle quern. She grabs a heavy rock. She drags it back and forth over wheat berries. The sound is rough. Stone crunches. Grain dust fills the air. Her arms are sore. She does this every day. Why? She's making bread. Not just a snack. This is survival. No bread means hunger. And in ancient times, hunger means death. But here's the twist. Grinding grain isn't just about lunch. It's power. In 9000 BCE, whoever controlled the loaf controlled the people. Kings used bread to tax whole cities. Empires rose on the backs of tired arms and smashed wheat. This was the first big system. Work together, eat together, build together. Food tied the first villages into something bigger, something like civilization. Jump ahead. It's 1937. You're in a kitchen, but now there's chrome, wires, gadgets. Fred Osius invents something wild, the blender. Hit the button. Instantly, you can make smooth soup, sweet shakes, anything you want. You feel powerful. But who really runs the show? The blender is just the tip of a huge iceberg. General Electric and Westinghouse make sure the parts work. The city keeps the electricity flowing. The average person doesn't know how the motor even spins. If the grid goes down, the blender becomes a fancy paperweight. So you're still caught in a system. You need factories, repair shops, recipes, stores with fruit and milk. We traded sore muscles for smooth machines. We swapped rocks for shiny motors. But there's a new price. Now we chase upgrades. A super blender promises more speed. A food company sells endless powder to mix. Every answer spawns another problem. Technology is like a treadmill, not an elevator. Step on, and it speeds up. You save time, but lose control. Try to relax, but the world keeps moving. Now you need the right recipes, the right brand, the right attachment. You never quite finish. So why do we do it? Why do we give up one set of problems for another? Who decides what counts as convenient, and who pays the hidden costs? That's the real puzzle. To answer that, we rewind to a moment when grinding grain was life or death, and necessity was the mother of not just invention, but civilization. And picture this. 12,000 years ago, a handful of seeds in a dusty bowl, your next meal and your future both bound to stone. The earth is old and wild. Food is hard to find. You look at a simple rock shaped by hands. It's your lifeline. We're in Çatalhöyük, around 7,500 BCE. People gather by firelight. Someone grabs a heavy stone. It grinds grain. Everyone listens for the scratch and rumble. No one does this for taste. They do it to live another day. That small stone changes everything. Why? Because hunting can't feed the crowd anymore. Forests shrink. Suddenly, a new problem explodes. Too many mouths, not enough wild food. So clever hands invent farming. Wheat and barley pop up from dark soil. That's amazing. But there's a catch. Seeds are tough. Teeth are weak. You need to smash, break, crush. Stone grinders become the answer. But the world isn't peaceful. Around 10,800 BCE, the climate flips. Cold, dry winds sweep in. Rivers shrivel. Crops die. This is the Younger Dryas. People get desperate. They race to squeeze every calorie out of what's left. Every stone grinder becomes precious. It's a survival tool and also a weapon in the hunger wars. The grinder isn't just a tool now, it's power. Some families own grinders, others beg to use them. Now imagine Sumer, around 3000 BCE. The priest kings built huge ovens and giant mills. The rules are harsh. If you want bread, you line up or pay. The whole city smells like baking, but only the lucky get to taste it. Owning the tech means controlling the people. The grinder is the game board. The rulers roll the dice. The rest hope for scraps. Things move fast. Someone gets a wild idea. Can water smash grain instead of muscle? It happens in Greece. In the 2nd century BCE, Philo of Byzantium describes a watermill. Picture rushing rivers, wooden paddles spinning, stone wheels crushing seeds. Men and women stare, some cheer, some grumble. Machines are here. The strong lose their grip. Now, whoever controls the river controls the bread. Here's the big picture. Every jump in grinding tech stone, metal, water raises the stakes. People fight, work, and dream for a taste of progress. Even today, powerful machines decide who eats fast and who waits. It's always been this way. The tech gate opens, but not for everyone. But when everyone wants these machines, needs them, who gets left out? What do they have to sacrifice? As technology snowballed, those left behind faced a crossroads. Adapt or get crushed. So, who soared ahead, and how did simple stone become a battlefield of invention and status? When one society found a shortcut, the race was on, and the loser didn't just miss dinner, they lost their place in history. Imagine two kingdoms fighting, not just with swords, but with stone grinders and mills. Long ago, the Romans built giant water-powered mills in a place called Barbagal. Water from big stone channels, their aqueducts rushed down and turned huge wooden wheels. Each spin crushed more and more grain. Faster bread, bigger armies. If one king's people ate in hours, and the other took days, you can guess who won. Now jump ahead to America, 1785. A man named Oliver Evans had a wild idea. What if machines could grind and sift every step? He built a flour mill packed with belts that twisted and gears that spun, grain poured in up top, bags of perfect flour rolled out below. People called it magic. Evans didn't just make bread faster. He started something huge, automation. People saw these machines and thought, what else can we speed up? Let's look inside one. It's like chess. At first, the pawn grinds by hand. Then the pawns become knights, water wheels, gears, belts. Soon the queen arrives, giant, automated factories, doing the work of hundreds. But here's the twist. Not everyone gets to play. Some lose their jobs. Some get rich, fast. Each new piece on the board means someone wins and someone else falls behind. Suddenly, a new sound fills the kitchen, a sharp electric whir. In 1922, the Stevens Electric Company builds a strange machine called the liquefier. No more cranking, no more aching arms. Just press a button, and spinning blades turn fruit, ice, even nuts into a silky drink. By 1937, it gets a new name, the Waring blender. Soon, slicing and mixing rush up to lightning speed. Now, you don't need a river or a team of workers, just a plug and some patience. World War II ends, soldiers come home. They want quick meals, fast shakes, no fuss. Companies see money. By 1954, Americans buy 9 million blenders. Every electric hum means a little bit more time saved, a little bit less old-fashioned work. But not everyone wins. Big factories crush little millers. Fancy kitchen gadgets end up in some homes, but not all. If you're rich or live in the right place, life gets easier. If you're not, you just work harder. The race isn't fair, but there's a secret here. The more we trust these machines, the more we depend on stuff we can't see. Invisible systems, electricity, factories, shipping lines all buzzing behind the kitchen wall. What happens if the power stops? Who really controls your blender? Modern kitchens hide a tangled web of energy, supply chains, and profit. Let's trace the circuit from your wall socket deep into the world's power structures. You hit puree, but the true price is hidden. It's a story of wires, factories, batteries, and borders. Let's look closer. Today's blender is not just a machine sitting on your counter. It's the front end of a huge global system, one that never turns off. Over 100 million blenders get sold every year. That's almost one blender for every family in Japan. But these blenders don't just pop into existence. They start with dirt. In Chile, under the hot sun, workers dig for lithium. They work in places like the Atacama Desert, where dust blows and salt crusts the earth. That lithium becomes part of your blender's battery. Now, picture this. In the city of Guangdong, China, giant factories hum, lights glow day and night, workers move fast, plastic pellets melt and turn into blender parts. Chrome blades are stamped out by machines that never sleep. Every button, every motor, every bit of wire, it all comes from somewhere. It seems simple for you. Hit a button, make a smoothie. But this is the trick. Every time companies make a quieter or smarter blender, we throw out the old ones. That creates even more e-waste. Old blenders pile up in places we might never visit. Let's zoom out for a second. Who wins when you buy a blender? The money mostly goes to big companies, Philips, Ninja, Hamilton Beach. Their boards pop champagne when sales hit new highs. The finished blenders get sold in malls in Europe or the US. But who pays the true cost? Workers in the mines in South America, people who live near the factories in China, even kids who pick through dumps full of broken gadgets. Now see this. Picture Agbogbloshie in Accra, Ghana. Tall heaps of broken wires and metal smoke in the sun. Boys try to pull out scraps they can sell. The air is thick with burning plastic. This is what happens when we throw things away and forget where they go. But there's more. Some countries can't even keep the lights on. In South Africa, whole neighborhoods go dark rolling blackouts. Why? The power grid strains to keep up. Not just for one blender, but for millions of gadgets running all at once. That's the hidden engine we never see. Press a button here, and somewhere else, 1,000 invisible gears turn. Dirt gets shifted, oil burns, wires heat up, people sweat, and some get sick. What if all this power runs short? What if the grid fails? What do we do if the resources run out or the chain snaps? How do we blend? How do we eat when the system stops working? That's the existential risk. Our easy modernity balanced on a knife's edge. What if this progress is more fragile than it appears? We think we've left the Stone Age behind, but the chains we escape are often replaced by silkier, stronger ones. You plug in your blender and feel powerful. You don't need to crush grains with your bare hands anymore. It's fast, it's clean, it feels like magic. But here's the secret. With every new tool, we get free from one problem and fall into another. Stone became steel, steel became silicon, silicon became the heart of every shiny appliance in your kitchen. Each step feels like freedom, but the truth hides in plain sight. Every blender, every smart fridge, every microwave, each comes with a hidden promise. You get ease, you get speed, but you also sign up for something nobody talks about, total dependence. Suddenly, you need electricity. You need a factory 1,000 miles away to build parts. You need oil from a country you'll never visit. You need plastic, metal, wires. The tools belong to you, but really, you belong to a system. The company builds it, the planet pays for it, and you can't break away easily. Picture a family in Texas on a cold day in February 2021. They huddle in the dark. No lights, no heat. The power grid fails. Their kitchen is silent. They twist knobs. Nothing works. The blender, oven, even the fridge, all useless. Suddenly, the soft cage is real. The bars are smooth. But they're strong. You feel them most when the power goes out. This isn't new. Go back to 1973. Oil prices explode. The world panics. Appliance prices jump. Stores run empty. People wait in lines for a simple microwave. Everything stops. Rich and poor, everyone is stuck. When fuel vanishes, convenience dies. Fast. But we can jump back even further. 2,000 years ago, Rome built huge stone water mills. These mills ground grain for empires. Water flowed in. Stone spun fast. Mouths filled. Rome ruled until one night in 410 AD. The city burns. Soldiers run through the streets. The aqueducts crumble. Without water, the mills stop. The tech that fed an empire becomes trash overnight. One weak link destroyed a system that seemed invincible. So what about you? Right now, you stand in your kitchen. You turn a dial. You watch lunch spin in your microwave. You're part of a web you never see. We know the taste of easy living, but we forget the price. People dream about living off-grid. They try building solar panels. They dig wells. It's harder than it sounds. Most come back. The cage is soft, doesn't feel like prison, but it's still there. Here's the real question. Can we ever build tools that free us instead of trapping us each time? Or is the next chain already waiting? If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. History doesn't just explain the present, it warns us about the future. Next time, we'll find out where the next break in the chain could come from.